Welcome back to Half the Battle. I'm your host, as always, Daniel Levi, and today we're going to talk about Dana White's Contender Series Week 9. My friends, it's going down this Tuesday night live at the Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. We got the penultimate episode of this season of Dana White's Contender Series, the second to last. We got 10 prospects fighting for that UFC contract. Let's not waste any time, my friends. Let's get right down to business. Because kicking off this card in the light heavyweight division, we got a matchup between Luke Fernandez, he's 5-0, taking on Rafael Pergentino, who's also 5-0. Currently, they got it. Fernandez minus 1,000. The comeback on Pergentino is plus 650. So Fernandez is 30. Pergentino is 23. Fernandez is an inch taller at 6'2". We're not aware of their reaches, but he trains out of Dante Rivera BJJ, and Pergentino trains out of Gameness Fight Club. So not familiar with either of their gyms, but hey, I can't wait to show y'all the footage of these two, man, because you know, anytime you see a minus 1,000 on Contender Series, I think you got to proceed with caution. I mean, unless we're talking about a serious once in a lifetime prospect like a Teba Gaudier or a Basanger Susurkaev, I need a damn good reason to play someone at this kind of price, especially when we're talking about no fluke situations like Dana White's Contender Series, which has been flukes galore. So let's take a look at the minus 1,000 favorite, Luke Fernandez, real quick. So this guy comes out of a decent regional scene with CFFC, good left hook. I mean, he just launched that, dude. He's got power in both hands. He can mix it up with takedowns. He can do it all. He's a really well-rounded guy for only being 5-0, definitely maturing the correct way. I like how he mixes it up to the body there. And he's someone who absolutely earned this opportunity. And I think he's ready right now. It's just when you're dealing with a 5-0 guy who's a minus 1,000 favorite, you just have to proceed with caution. But as you can see, he's aggressive. He goes for it. Like Yuri says, let's go for that. And he can really mix it up in all areas. Look, high amplitude takedowns. He tried to slam that dude on his head too. That was a legit nasty slam. And here you can see some grappling footage. I mean, look at this anaconda choke, man. I mean, like, for a big boy, that ain't half bad. So there's a lot to like about this kid, Luke Fernandez. But again, you're dealing with a serious price. So everything I'm going to tell you is already factored into the number. Now, on the other side with Rafael Pergentino, y'all got to take a look at this, man. So this kid, as y'all know, comes out of Brazil. They got the midget ring girls with the BBLs. Hey, man, I don't know what fight promotion that is. I'd love to know, but yeah, man. I mean, listen, he's a wild boy. He likes to go out there, swing big. And so far, everyone he's fought against has gone down. But now he's getting a big step up in competition. And as you can see, he's a big underdog for a reason. But like we talk about so many times with Contender Series, you might think that you scouted the much better prospect, and they might just come out there and get caught in the first exchange. How many times have we seen it on this season of Contender Series? Dudes just get sparked the second that one big punch is thrown. I mean, look at this stuff, man. Like, this is some real Bush League stuff that we're looking at. But again, I've felt that way about other fighters in the past, picked against them confidently, and then they just go out there and knock the opponent out with the first punch they throw. So that's what you got to be aware of if you're considering laying this minus 1,000 on Fernandez. But all that being said, as a pure pick, I am going Fernandez. I think he's favored to this extent for a reason. I mean, the technique, the level of competition, et cetera, et cetera. So give me Fernandez as a pure pick. Just please proceed with caution if you're parlaying him at minus 1,000. Next up in the welterweight division, we got a matchup between Luis Felipe Diaz. He's 15-5, taking on Donavon Hedrick, who is 6-0. Currently, they got it Donavon Hedrick minus 115. Luis Felipe Diaz is minus 105. So it's a pick 'em with a slight lean on Hedrick. Hedrick is 28. Diaz is 29. Hedrick is 2 inches taller at 6'1". And it says he trains out of ATT Longwood, but I actually think he trains out of Fusion XL under Julian Williams. And Luis Felipe Diaz trains in Brazil somewhere that I've also never heard of. But Hedrick, I'm pretty damn sure it's, Fusion XL with under Julian Williams. You got Mike Davis there, Phil Rowe, Mike Perry, Rodolfo Vieira, Terrence McKinney. So he's got a lot of UFC level fighters to train with. Now, the thing about this matchup, however, is that Diaz has more than twice the experience as Hedrick. And also, Hedrick is taking this on very short notice. You know, this is not even the second opponent that Diaz was supposed to fight. This is the third opponent that Diaz was supposed to fight. So shout out to Hedrick for taking this on a week short notice. Now, looking at Luis Felipe Diaz, I got to keep it a buck with y'all. I am not that impressed with him. However, I do respect his experience and his skills, but there's certain things he does that give me massive red flags when it comes to scouting him and potentially seeing him in the UFC. Let's look at these highlights. So with Luis Felipe Diaz, look, he's definitely got the body. He kicks hard. He punches hard. He's got some jiu-jitsu, but look at that takedown defense. Not very good. This is against a UFC reject in Marcin Bandel, who went 0-2 in the UFC. But I know he's been doing his thing on his regional scene, but like, you know, it's an experienced journey, man, but not a UFC level guy. And here you can see Luis Felipe Diaz. Look how he gets floored in this spot, man. He keeps his chin up way too high. He's got terrible reactions when he gets hit. Yeah, man. But look, when he swings back, he hits hard. It's just I'm worried about that chin straight up in the air, man. Like, yeah, that's definitely something to worry about. But what's confusing to me is like, okay, this guy's got 20 pro fights under his belt. That experience counts for a lot. And the skills are there offensively. It's just defensively. Look at that. He gets dropped in so many fights. He gets taken down easily. But when I talk about the experience, I have to put emphasis on it because on the other side with Donavon Hedrick, he's only got 6 pro fights and he's finished every single opponent in the first round. Now, that's not his fault. He's going out there and doing what he's supposed to do. And I think he's the much more talented of the two. Let's take a look at his highlights. So with Donavon Hedrick, again, 6 feet tall. I mean, look at this little trip there, man. I mean, and that's against a dude who was trying to take him down. So here, look at this power guillotine, man. I mean, his opponent does the right thing and bails out to his back. Doesn't even get a chance to tap out. It was so tight. He just went straight to sleep. Here, I mean, Buddy knocks himself out. So you're seeing kind of these weird outcomes, right? Here you see some of his amateur experience. Like, he's got some one-hitter quitter too. Look at that nice little uppercut. Put him down, man. I don't know what the ref was waiting for, the Messiah or what, man. But mostly I've seen grappling from Hedrick, but don't sleep on his hands too. But yeah, I mean, he's in a developmental stage right now. I feel like this kid's a really good prospect training out of a great gym. And I felt like, you know, he's a couple fights away from a Dana White Contender Series opportunity. But unfortunately, Diaz's opponent pulled out. So Hedrick got the call right now. He made weight. He's taking it on a week short notice. I think he's the much more talented of the two. But again, I'm repeating myself. The experience of Diaz is what gives me pause. Like, if we're just going to freeze time and fast forward to 5 years from now, and then you're going to be seeing Hedrick as a UFC fighter, and you're going to be seeing Diaz as someone that's probably retired. However, the better fighter doesn't always win. And, you know, with more than double the experience, you just have to proceed with caution in a spot like this. Hedrick has to prove it to me. However, what he has proven is that I think he's the more talented guy here, and I think he's got a lot more potential. So as a pure pick, I'm going to take Hedrick, but as a bet, I'm going to pass. Now, next up in the flyweight division, we got a matchup between Imanol Rodriguez, he's 5-1, taking on Roque Jr., who's 10-2. Currently, they got it Imanol Rodriguez minus 250. The comeback on Roque Jr. is plus 210. Both men are 25. Both men are 5'4", and Roque trains out of Rivera Black Team, and Rodriguez trains out of the Blaxicans. I remember the Blackzilians back in the day, but now there's a team called the Blaxicans. Okay, I've never heard of them, but noted. Listen, I think both these guys are very, very skilled, and I think that both these guys can make waves in the UFC. The only thing I'm kind of curious about is this price, because I started off by watching Imanol Rodriguez, and one thing I can tell you about him, look, he was on The Ultimate Fighter. He's got very, very sharp hands. I mean, for only being 5-0, I mean, when this guy lets those hands rip, man, they fly and they put bodies down. So immediately off the jump, when you're seeing a flyweight go out there and get these kind of reactions, that is something to absolutely take note of. So, not to mention with that 5-0 record, but also doing The Ultimate Fighter. You've seen these guys like Chapolin, like Patty McCrory. They don't win The Ultimate Fighter, but they come back on Contender Series and they win their Contender Series fights. But look at these punches and bunches. That's what this guy brings to the table. He also had a great fight with The Ultimate Fighter winner, Joseph Morales. We'll talk about that in a sec, but look at him run through this dude from India like it was nothing. Like you'd expect, a Mexican prospect to do on the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, it was a standing TKO. He just absolutely destroyed that guy. And to do it in front of Dana White, that's got to elevate this kid's confidence to that next level to know, hey, you can get these kind of results. And then against Joseph Morales, who won the entire season, you saw that nice takedown, fought very, very close with him. So with Rodriguez, you're getting a prospect that's going to be making big leaps every single time you see him. And this guy is truly the limit with him. Now, on the other side with Roque Jr., I got to admit, I think Roque Jr. is no slouch at all. So I watched Rodriguez first. I was very impressed with how sharp his hands are. But then I watched Roque Jr., and I got to say, this dude is explosive. This dude's got more than twice the MMA experience. And I like this guy a lot, man. He comes out of that same regional scene as that kid Samuel Sanchez, who also won on the Contender Series with a devastating knockout over Chasen Blair. But I mean, look at how this guy strikes, man. He can go upstairs. He can mix in kicks. He also has very, very heavy hands. Look at that front kick to the face. Decent on the mat, too. I've seen him get taken down. He can reverse the positions, but when he takes you down, high amplitude, look at that left hook knockout. I mean, this dude's awesome, man. Like, I like this dude, Roque Jr. Like, how dope is it watching a flyweight come out here this violent, this aggressive? Yo, look at this Suluev stretch. I mean, this guy is getting an array of finishes on his regional scene. Like, he is very, very talented and well-rounded. And what I'm trying to figure out here is, why is this fight not a pick'em? Or if you're going to favor Rodriguez, why is Rodriguez not like minus 130, minus 150 at most? Because look, people know him because he was on the Ultimate Fighter. So I get it. You've heard of Rodriguez before. You've never heard of Roque Jr. Conceicao. But the thing about it is, my boy Roque Jr. is no slouch at all. And I think he should be a little bit more respected than what he's getting here. So listen, I could realistically see this fight going either way, but when I talk in these terms and there's a plus 210 dog, I think I got to side with the underdog here. All respect to both these guys. I'm going to just give y'all a little spoiler. This is my fight to watch, but I just couldn't get around to that plus 210. It just made no sense to me before the fact. Maybe after the fact, it'll make pure sense if Rodriguez knocks him out. But before the fact, I think there's tremendous value on Roque Jr. at plus 210 odds, and I'm going to pick him as a result. Next up in the bantamweight division, we got a matchup between Adrian Luna, he's 16-1, taking on Mark Vologdin, who's 12-3-1. Currently, they got it Mark Vologdin minus 140. The comeback on Adrian Luna is plus 120. So Adrian Luna is 30, Mark Vologdin is 25. Adrian Luna is 3 inches taller at 5'8". He's training out of Entram Gym, but Vologdin is training out of All Stars in Sweden. So both these guys actually come out of legitimate gyms and probably the two best gyms on this episode of the season. So these are two real prospects, man. I mean, 16-1 for Adrian Luna. And Adrian Luna, let me tell you something about this guy. He is a madman. I mean, he'll just run at dudes and get them out of there. And for a bantamweight, very long for the division, lanky, unorthodox, maybe not the fastest guy in the world, but definitely very, very intentional, mean, aggressive, always looking for the finish, and absolutely someone that has earned that opportunity. Look at that last one. That was his most recent fight. He just runs at the dude and just gets him out of there right away. So you love to see that kind of aggression. I mean, look how big his kicks are too. And also, that throw was a little iffy. I feel like, someone at the UFC level might reverse it, but still, he's trying things out on his regional scene in all areas of the game, and you have to respect it. And I mean, look at him coming in here with these big knees. Like, every time you think you've seen his entire game, he shows you something new about him. Look how deep this rear naked choke gets. I mean, why isn't Buddy tapping yet? Go ahead and tap, bro. What are you waiting for, man? But yeah, I mean, I like what I saw out of Adrian Luna. And I got to say, coming out of Ecuador, you know that not many fighters have made it to the UFC out of Ecuador. You can think of Marlon Chito Vera. You think of Michael Morales. Let's not talk about that Eric Silva dude. Okay, we can forget about him. But Michael Morales and Chito Vera. I mean, Chito Vera made it to a UFC title fight. And Michael Morales, I mean, I think between you and me, we can look each other in the eye and say that we predict Michael Morales will probably make it to a UFC title fight before it's all said and done. Now you got this kid, Adrian Luna, who's coming out there with the same kind of pride, the same kind of spirit, really wants to put Ecuador on the map and continue that expansion. And if he gets a UFC contract, he can go back home and open the kind of doors that Marlon Chito Vera and Michael Morales have been doing for their fellow Ecuadorian fighters. Now, on the other side with Mark Vologdin, I got to admit, I am very, very impressed with Mark Vologdin. I mean, with Mark Vologdin, you're talking about a super well-rounded and technical guy that's good everywhere the fight goes, and someone that I think can come into the UFC right now and give him 1 or 2 fights to get his feet wet, and I think this guy can go right into the top 15. He is very, very skilled, man, in all areas of the game. I love his kicks. I love his takedowns. I love his punches, his takedown defense. Everything about this guy. Look at that arm triangle. Like, his left elbow isn't even touching the ground, and he puts Buddy to sleep. Like, the technique wasn't even 100% perfect, and he still put the guy out. Look at this north-south choke. Like, it's not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, but it's very, very effective with his submissions. But I'll tell you what is beautiful. Look at his striking, man. His striking is absolutely gorgeous to watch, man. And I think that Vologdin, if he comes out here and fights like he did on his regional scene, then I think he's going to have the bosses clapping, man. So, yeah, I like both these guys, but I'm a lot more impressed with Vologdin, and I really do think that this guy has top 15 potential. I think he's going to come out here, put on a show, and Dana White's going to be like, hey, Vologdin, get your ass over here and welcome to the UFC. Featured bout in the lightweight division, we got a matchup between Lucas Caldas, he's 6-1, taking on Magomed Zaynukov, who's 7-0. Currently, they got it Magomed Zaynukov minus 425. The comeback on Lucas Calda is plus 355. So Magomed's 30, Lucas is 29. Lucas is an inch taller at 6 feet tall, and he comes out of Talis Latest MMA, which, I mean, you know, Talis Latest has some great jiu-jitsu, but Magomed comes out of the Nurmagomedov school. Now, I know I've hyped a couple guys out of the Nurmagomedov school, and, you know, my boy Zurcher got smoked, but that being said, this dude, Zaynukov, is no slouch at all, man. And when you think about a Magomed, you think, you know, he's probably got some decent wrestling, some good grappling, and he does, but where it's really at with him is his striking. I mean, you're talking about this dude, Magomed, and he can do it all. Big punches, big kicks, elbows. And you think because his name is Magomed that, hey, this guy's going to come out here and wrestle you. And then all of a sudden, he's cutting you up with punches. He's slipping your best shots. He's chopping you down with calf kicks. Like, this dude is the real deal. And I see exactly why he got the featured bout spot here on Dana White's Contender Series Week 9. So, as you can see, what's not to like about Magomed in this spot? Hey, we got another undefeated Magomed fighting for a UFC contract. I mean, what are the percentages? But hey, look at this. He also has a kickboxing background, sleeping dudes with left hooks. That was pure striking, my friends. There was no threat of a takedown there whatsoever, and he's sleeping these guys. So, like I said, when you see an undefeated Magomed, automatically you take note, but then you find out about this guy's striking background, you're like, okay, this is a guy who not only can win on Contender Series, but can come into the UFC right now, and we can throw this guy right into the mix. Now, on the other side with Lucas Caldas, he's also got a kickboxing background, and he's also a tough dude. I like his combinations. I like his finishing instinct. To me, he's just a level below Magomedov in terms of the athleticism, the technique, everything. But make no mistake about it, Lucas is no slouch at all, but here you see him get rocked a bit. He leaves some openings, but he's a tough guy. He'll swing back. Even on shaky legs, he swings back and drops the dude. So you have to respect the toughness of Lucas Caldas. He'll take his ass whooping like a man as long as he's still conscious. And if you start to slow down on a guy like Lucas Caldas, that's where he's going to start to tee off on you, flying knees, body shots, ground and pound. So he's a very tough guy, and I'm happy for him getting this opportunity. I'm just, look at that DQ stomp. Hey, hold on a second. Let's talk about that for a sec. Aren't you allowed to stomp to the body, or is it stomps are illegal no matter what? Because I know with soccer kicks, you can soccer kick the body. Like, remember when Khalil Roundtree did that on The Ultimate Fighter? But I guess stomping, you can't stomp, period. But that's not true, because you see guys against the fence stomping people's feet all the time. So you can't stomp a grounded opponent to the body, I'm guessing is what happened there. I need to read up on the rule set. But that being said, I just think that Zaynukov is far more superior in the skill department. Experience wise, they're somewhat comparable, but it's just skills wise, physicality, and who am I scouting to come into the UFC and make waves? Magomed Zaynukov out of these two. So for that reason, I think that Magomed Zaynukov is going to come out here, win this fight, and get that UFC contract. Now we got to talk about the fight to watch and the fighter to watch. So my friends, what is the fight to watch for Dana White's Contender Series Week 9? I think y'all know damn well what the fight to watch is. And of course, the fight to watch has got to be Rodriguez versus Conceicao. My boy Roque Jr. versus Imanol Rodriguez. Listen, I was impressed with both these guys. I think this is the most evenly matched fight on this episode of the season. And I know you got a minus 250 favorite, so how can I say that? But when I scouted them both, I walked away very impressed, thinking that both of them have bright futures in the UFC and that I really can't wait for this fight. So for that reason, Rodriguez versus Roque Jr. is my fight to watch. So now the question is, who is my fighter to watch? And it came down to two fighters, but my friend, my fighter to watch for Dana White's Contender Series Week 9 is Mark Vologdin. I mean, out of every fighter on this episode, I thought that he had the highest skill set, the most talent, the most potential. He's battle tested. He's had his ups. He's had his downs. I mean, like I said, I think this guy can come into the UFC right now, get 2 fights under his belt, and immediately start fighting in the rankings. So for that reason, Mark Vologdin is my fighter to watch. Well, my friends, we did it. It's going down this Tuesday night live at the Apex. Hey, hit that subscribe button. Once I get to 10K subscribers, I'm going to be giving out some free signed Malcolm Wellmaker merch. The way to sign up for the contest is to be subscribed to Half the Battle on YouTube. So if you want that free signed Malcolm Wellmaker merch, all you got to do is subscribe to the channel. Also, my friends, hit that like button so the algorithm knows to push me. Leave me a comment. Share if you feel so inclined. Shout out Meticulous for the unbelievable graphics and all the work you do behind the scenes. And the biggest shout out of all goes to the fans for all your support of Half the Battle. So I'll see y'all Wednesday night for UFC for Charles Oliveira versus Mateus Gamrot. But until then, I hope you'll have a very, very successful Tuesday. And until the next time, let's cash these bets.